She earned praise. We loved her when she was thrust onto the national stage. The Florida school, though, is banning a poem read at the Biden inauguration. After the objection of just one parent, the poem that Amanda Gorman, remember her, recited at President Joe Biden's inauguration has been banned from elementary schools across Miami-Dade County, Florida. The poem was beautiful, remember? Miami Herald reporting that the poem, which is titled "The Hills We Climb," was removed from the K-5 curriculum in the county after a local parent, Daily Salinas, challenged it as inappropriate for students. In addition to Gorman's poem, Salinas also challenged 4 other books: The ABCs of Black History, Cuban Kids, Countries in the News, Cuba, and Love to Langston, for what she claimed were filled with indirect hate messages inspired by critical race theory. Salinas tells the Miami Herald that she's not in favor of censorship, but she instead wants students to know the truth about Cuba with accurate reading materials. That said, she also complained that the district had left the books she objected to available for middle school students, as she claimed they were inappropriate for all ages. Director of Research and Insight at Florida Freedom to Read Project, Stefania Farrell, said that the nature of the books being challenged in the country shows that there's a concerted effort to target books that address ethnicities, marginalized communities, racism, or our history of racism. It seems to me, Dr. Metzl, that people don't even understand critical race theory. It's just the cool thing to throw out there. And they don't understand what is perhaps and is not hate, directly or indirectly.
I mean, in this case, let's be honest, it's not just about the poem, it's about the poet, right? How dare a young Black woman speak this way in such a national forum for what is an incredibly aspirational poem, right? This was an inauguration poem that was a call to human betterment. And so this is really just terrifying on so many levels. First, of course, is just the power that these small number of people have. I mean, there was a story in the, I think, Post or Times the other day that only 12 or 13 people in Florida are behind most of the requests for the book bans. And so when you kind of try to ban something that fits the ideology about, like, let's not learn about history or anything critical or aspirational or unifying, it gets a lot of play. And so the fact that one parent is going to do this and that we're even talking about it, I find really, really upsetting, because where does that lead us, right? It's not just going to be school libraries, it's going to be movies and television shows and newspapers, right? This is a really slippery slope. If these kind of dominant messages get so much airtime, it really leads us down a place that is so antithetical to the version of the United States that many people assume and have grown up with. And then the flip side, of course, is that as a liberal person, I am not in any way in favor of any bans. I don't think there should be any bans on any books. We should have everything out there and debate it. But what about when a Black parent says, well, I don't want this poem by a white poet, or this is too conservative for me, or it's hateful or something like that? Are they going to then ban that? I really doubt it. And so again, the things that are being banned are supporting a particular ideology, which is an incredibly problematic and slippery slope for our country.
Yeah, and I want to seize upon what you were talking about when you mentioned, and we're almost out of time for this segment, about so few being able to inflict so much, really, because, and perhaps this is not something that you can relate the two different subjects, but to me, it's the same as this whole gun debate, because you have most Americans, if we believe the polling, saying we want reasonable things done here, but you have a powerful few or fewer, much fewer, saying nope, nothing to see, and we're not going to do anything.
Yeah, it's really the definition of minority rule. I mean, I think that, again, these numbers on who's calling for book bans and the result of it, these voices are being used in the service of an ideology. And I do think there is something similar. I think we'll talk about it in the next segment here about the gun debate.